ABC 17 News at 9 a.m. on KMIZ starts now.
Mid-Missouri, good morning, and thanks so much for joining us on this Friday morning. We made it to the weekend. I'm Ashley Strohmeyer.
And I'm Brittany Beggs, and it is a colder morning thanks to those clear skies we had early, but those clouds have moved in. And take a look at our 24-hour temperature change. 15 degrees colder this hour, 14 degrees colder from Jefferson City. Up near Macon, we are 17 degrees colder this morning. And take a look at our current temperatures. Still freezing from Jefferson City at 32 degrees, but because of that cloud cover, temperatures aren't going to be ramping up quite as warm as what we saw on Thursday, but I still think we are going to reach the 60s today. In my first forecast, I'll break down the forecast headlines plus a look at that next storm system and when it moves in. I'll show you where it is coming up here in a few minutes. Ashley.
We now know the name of the woman who was arrested in Jefferson City after leading police on a chase. Now, we first brought this to you last night at 9 o'clock on ABC 17. This happened on Country Club Drive in the capital city. The driver, she is 40-year-old Katina Daniels. She was arrested for several charges. A few are driving with a revoked license, drug paraphernalia, resisting arrest by fleeing. No other suspects were involved, and she is currently in the Cole County Jail. We also have an update for you about a fight in downtown Columbia last night. Officers were sent to Jimmy John's for an unconscious woman in a booth. When officials tried to get the 21-year-old woman, this man, Marin Afane, pushed past them to get closer to the woman. He then hit one of the officers in the face when he was told to step back. Another man, Trenton Johnson, began shoving and striking officers while they were arresting the other man. Both of them were arrested for resisting arrest or interfering with an arrest and third-degree assault of a law enforcement officer. Students and staff at Fulton High School are safe right now after a threat. In just the past 20 minutes, we have learned the Fulton Police Department got a threat targeting the school. Officials interviewed several suspects but found the threat was not credible. Extra help and police were at the school this morning. In a crime alert right now, Columbia police are still investigating a possible road rage-related shooting. Officers tell us the suspect was driving a white sedan and began yelling at another driver as the two drove north on Highway 63. That's when the suspect shot at the victim near the I-70 connector and Clark Lane. A sergeant there tells us the man was not injured. Right now, the Board of Curators is starting the day with two meetings. Today, Interim President Mike Middleton is giving a presentation, and there's a report on Title IX diversity and inclusion. Yesterday, curators talked about the proposed housing development in Columbia for graduate students and their families. That development would go where the University Village apartment complex used to be. You'll remember University Village was demolished last year after a walkway collapsed, killing Columbia firefighter Bruce Britt. Our team is headed to St. Louis right now, and we'll have a live report on ABC 17 News at noon. A new sales tax is taking effect in part of Columbia next year as voters approved the tax yesterday for the Business Loop 70 Community Improvement District. ABC 17's Alyssa Toomey is live at Parkade Plaza on the Business Loop this morning. And Alyssa, the tax will help fund improvements on the loop.
Yes, Ashley, the Community Improvement District, or CID sales tax, was passed last night with just one vote. The half-cent sales tax will take effect on April 1st, and it is intended to fund improvements to this area north of Columbia. 7 of the 15 voters in the CID turned in their ballots, and the sales tax was approved 4-3. Now, I also want to remind you that the CID sales tax is not a substitute for city investments, but is instead a way for citizens within the district to fund their community. The CID board director says they have a big vision for the business loop, but they also plan to communicate with the community in order to create a specific plan for the area. We'll be sure to update you with any changes coming in the future. Reporting live in Columbia, Alyssa Toomey, ABC 17 News.
The CID covers the business loop between College Avenue and I-70 near West Boulevard. Drivers in Jefferson City can expect some changes today in the Lafayette Street area. Construction crews are directing traffic from eastbound lanes on Highway 5063 onto new westbound lanes. They're then directing them across the bridge over Lafayette Street. That'll close the eastbound on-ramp so they can start work on the new eastbound bridge and lanes. This is the latest step in the Lafayette Street Interchange project that is due to be finished next fall. New this morning, a man from Avaz lands himself in jail after a drug arrest. Take a look. This is 52-year-old Billy Owen. He was arrested Wednesday afternoon following an investigation by the Callaway County Sheriff's Department and the Mustang Drug Task Force. Deputies, they searched a home on Peachtree Drive in Avaz and found 22 pounds of pot, guns, and $35,000 in cash. Owen was taken to jail for distribution of a controlled substance and unlawful possession of firearms. More charges could come out of this case. More bulk cell phone purchases around Missouri are now under federal investigation. There have been reports of people buying prepaid cell phones in large numbers from 6 Missouri communities, including Jefferson City and Columbia. Prepaid phones, however, can be used in cases of crime or even terrorism, but keep in mind there are other possible reasons for these purchases. People sometimes will take advantage of promotional offers, buying cheap phones and trading them for older or rather nicer ones. It's also possible employees are buying the phones to create fake customers for those promo discounts and earn some extra cash. A man is waking up in the Callaway County Jail this morning accused of sharing illegal porn involving children as young as 4 years old. This man, this is Malcolm Buckner. He was charged yesterday with 1 count of child pornography. Investigators traced emails dated back in July to a home off Cedarview Drive south of Fulton after getting a tip from a national agency. And then in Columbia, their task force got another tip from the exact same agency about this man, Justin Hull. Detectives say Hull uploaded videos of very young children being molested. Hull is under investigation for the same thing in St. Louis and is currently in the Boone County Jail. Dozens of people in South Columbia are advised to boil their water this morning. Yesterday, ABC 17 News told you a private contractor broke an 8-inch pipe near Nifong and Buttonwood. Workers were digging in the area trying to fix the line and ended up finishing about 1:30. Hillary Clinton is making her way to Missouri this morning. The Democratic frontrunner will discuss her economic agenda and mobilize supporters tonight in St. Louis starting at 7. The event takes place at the Union Hall. The public is invited to tonight's event, but an RSVP is required.
Well, coming up on 9:07, it is shaping up to be a colder morning thanks to those clouds that have moved in. But you'll notice this afternoon it's going to be warming up once again, feeling more spring-like. Temperatures should reach the low 60s. I've taken us down just a degree from yesterday. We're not going to be as warm. And we also are still looking at storms in the forecast. I'm tracking the storm system making its way into mid-Missouri by Saturday night. So much of the day Saturday looks like we are going to be dry, and we're certainly going to be dry today as well. Here's a look at our satellite and radar. You can see those clouds on the increase. We might see a few sprinkles this evening. Otherwise, we are dry with this next guy here developing, and it is going to be lifting overhead for tomorrow night. So here is my timing of the storms that move in tomorrow night. It looks like it makes its way in near Sedalia and near Benton County between 7 and 9 p.m. This is the startup time. Keep in mind, I expect we're going to have more widespread rain for Sunday. And then Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 11 a.m. or 11 p.m. excuse me, from Columbia to Jefferson City, and then exiting our eastern half after 11 o'clock, or entering our eastern half at 11 p.m. But widespread rainfall is likely. Here's your ABC 17 storm track, future track model, breaking this down through the overnight hours and then into Sunday and then finally into Monday morning. You'll notice 8 o'clock. Most of this moisture should be lifted northeast of us, but on the backside of this is where we're looking at some colder air making its way in. So there's a chance we could see a mix on our northern half early tomorrow, or early on Monday. It looks like between midnight and 5 a.m. Right now, though, we are in the mid-40s. Jefferson City still colder at 36 degrees. I'm getting more reports from our storm trackers. That was Ron in the Russellville area, but I just got a report in from Mike Davis out of Madison. He is reporting partly sunny skies at this time. Here's your out-the-door temperatures for this afternoon. Those winds will stay out of the south up to about 11 miles an hour by 6 p.m. You can check out that temperature for your ride home from work. 60 degrees, though. It will be a pleasant evening, and most of us are going to stay dry. But check out that overnight low, 52 degrees, well above average. In fact, 25 degrees above our average low temperatures. Coming up in my next forecast, I'll be breaking down a different future track, plus a look at which areas could see a little bit of a rain and snow mix by Monday morning in my next forecast.
Just ahead on ABC 17 News at 9, where the news comes first.
FBI agents are continuing their search at the bottom of a California lake today. How they're hoping it's going to help with clues in the San Bernardino terror attacks. That's next.